Welcome everyone, this is Michael, and I'm looking forward to sharing this set of layouts with you. And finally, the very last one, I will also tell you more about my story. Now these layouts were created by Holly Veselinek, one of my cohorts, and I've taken her recipe or her inspiration and changed it up a little bit, but it's using the lovely and beautiful paper pack, which is in the spring 2026 catalog. And I think I said this in my card video. I just kind of looked right over this and then came back, and when I saw what Holly did, it's just so beautiful. So I'm going to just point out a couple of things. This paper does not come with stickers. So Holly chose to use these vellum die cuts, which come in a set, and we use those to embellish our pages. Now, also, there was another set of stamps and die cuts that came with this, and I did not have that, but I did have one that had this shape. So my shape is a little bit smaller than what was originally planned, but I was able to use the shape, and then I had this stamp set, Currently Loving, and stamping the loving life on there. So I'm looking forward to pictures for this page. Not quite sure what they're gonna be yet. I do a lot of scrapbooking and then adding pictures afterwards. That's probably a whole video topic on its own, right? Now this is the second page that she had designed. Again, using these die cuts that are vellum and gold. And then I also brought in some elements from other stamp sets because I did not have the stamps and dies that she did. But I was able to use what was in my stash to create this, and I am so happy with how it turned out. This is a die cut that's coming in March, I believe, of 2026, and I just love how it makes a perfect frame. This could be for journaling. It could even be for another picture there as well. And then the elements that I used to help decorate with these die cuts are also from that set. Now this is the third double page layout, and this one was inspired by Tina. We were all creating together, and so Tina created with some of the leftovers this set here. I used the paper and I cut out some of these large flowers and leaves to go along with the gold vellum pieces to embellish this page. Now I used this Currently stamp set from here, and I haven't decided what's going to go on this page, but when it does, I will be able to add that. Now finally, this is the page that I created after the leftovers, right? So I come back and I use what I have. And the story that I'm telling here is a story that you don't usually find maybe in a scrapbook, but I really wanted to document this for my girls as well as for a family health history. So you will see behind this picture a pullout, and this really tells the medical history of what was going on here. Both of my girls, within a year of each other, were diagnosed with forms of thyroid cancer. And that's going to be important information going along for families and generations ahead. And then over here, I put the story that I experienced by participating in the appointments and the things that happened regarding her surgery. I was not able to be there for Allie's surgery. But I really like how this turned out, and I really think the story is important to tell in a lot of different ways. Now, I had run out of the big flowers to cut out of the paper. You can see this was the design that I used on the previous page. So I pulled out a stamp set, and I would encourage you to look at your stamp sets. And I found this stamp set here. It's actually from the 2026 card making retreat that was held in late January, I believe. And I really felt like if I embossed them in gold, as you can see the gold around here, be able to kind of recreate that look. And since those flowers are really quite small, just in a couple spaces, I can work with those. But the other thing you'll notice, I used my party alphabets, and those I just can't get enough of. Big, bold letters stacked light underneath with a dark there for a shadow effect to create my main title. And then I went back to some stamps that I have and did this subtitle, the Thyroid Chapter. Now, I wanted to show you how I did this because I used a new tool that we have, and it is our new stamp positioner. Now, this is available for people who sign up as new demonstrators for free in their kit in the month of February of 2026. So if you would like to get this, it's a great tool, and there's many videos out there on how to use it, but I want to show you what I did. So this is an old alphabet that I have. I had this piece here, which hopefully you can see, has a little grid on it. So I was able to line up my letters here. And then I only had 2 T's and I needed 3. So I started with this T here, and then leaving those others in place, I brought this one over there. So I knew there was going to be a spot for it to come back and stamp it later. And then the same with the H. I needed 2 H's. So I'm able to remove this H here and bring it over to this side, and then space my letters appropriately using this grid. Now, hopefully these are all down, and I just wanted to show you how I did it because I thought it was such a fun idea and easy to use. Now, if you were using this with your stamp positioner, there's 2 holes here, and you'd put them on those holes and you would press down. Now, I could have put my paper in here and figured out a way to do that. It was a little small, so I thought, what can I do? So I actually, with all of these on here, I inked this up with my ink. And you can see my test piece here on this scrap piece, but I'll ink this up. And when this gets turned over and is sitting down, it's upside down, it doesn't press down immediately. So I can set that down. I have time to kind of reposition and figure out where I want that and how I want that. And then these corners have springs on them. So you can press on those springs. You can move your fingers across to make sure the whole thing gets stamped, and then you can lift it up. Now, I took the H off, and because I have a space here, I'm able to ink that up. And then, without getting my head in the camera, I can add that H back in. And then I can do the same thing with the T. I left enough space there, and I can bring this back and then complete the subtitle with my letters. I would love to know if you have ever scrapbooked something that's a little more maybe personal, medical. I do have a workshop guide for all of these layouts that I would be happy to share with you with purchase. Thank you for stopping by and watching my process here. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Maybe share this idea with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see my next video. Thank you.